In part 6 of our SharePoint intranet site contributor series, I'd like to take a look at library settings. So I'm going to just navigate to that library of mine where I've loaded the policies and stuff. And if I remember correctly, it's called the brain. I'm very creative with these things. And there we'll go to the brain. And remember what I said is inside contents, I can actually go straight to the settings of this library. Okay, so in the library settings, and these would be the same for all your library settings, you'll see that the first item there is the list name, description, and navigation. So let's take a look there. This is where I have the name of my library as well as the purpose and the owner of the library, and that can get filled in by you. And then whether you must display it on the quick launch, which is the section on the left. But remember, on a communication site, the section on the left is actually a top nav, so that won't then display there. So if we just save that, that's where you could say and change the name of the library. I always create my apps with an acronym, which means I'll then go there and change it. Now, versioning settings is very important on the libraries, and a new update that came out for SharePoint Online is that it now keeps 500 versions of your library. There we go, 500. And the update also says that you will not be able to switch off versioning. Actually, just under correction, it was for 500 versions, but the new update will keep 100 versions by default for all libraries. And you will not be able to keep and switch this off. So that's where I can set up versions for my library. That's also where I can say whether I want to use major or minor versions. I only use that in the case of policies that gets reviewed by a forum, etc. And then, of course, there at the top, you can also switch on content approval or not. I will cover that in another video on how to use content approval. And then also, when content approval is switched on, it asks you who should be able to see draft items. The people who can edit, or everyone, or all the users. And this is also where you switch on check in, check out, which I'll also cover. This, of course, is so that people can't edit the document or try and edit the document at the same time as what you've got it in edit mode. So that is your advanced settings. Versioning settings, I'm going crazy. Then under advanced settings, you'll see there's allow management of content types. So of course this is necessary if you do change content types in your libraries. There's the template URL that it uses. So when you click new document in the library, that's the template that opens. Then this is rather important. Default open behavior, open in client app, open in browser, open in server default. A lot of times I have clients who complain about Excel spreadsheets that it then tries to open in the web, in the online app. So this is where you can change it to the open in client application if you want it to open in the desktop version of our Office, etc. Then also a custom send to locations is great for sending copies to other libraries or for like a temporary archive type of solution. And make new folder available. I'm definitely going to switch that off for this library because I'm using metadata. Then also allow the items from this library to appear in search results. This is important to rather switch it off if it's something that you don't want to appear in the search results. And then let's have a look further. Is this an assets library? Do you want to allow quick edits or not in the library? That's also very important. And there's your display, the new or classic experience, of course. So that's a list name, versioning settings, advanced settings. You can see audience targeting here as well, deleting the library, permissions for this library, of course, managing files, enterprise metadata. I think one thing that I do want to ask you about the library settings is if you're not used to working with the settings on the libraries yet, do not make changes until you fully understand the impact of those changes. But take it slow, learn and read up as much as you can, and I promise you, you're going to be okay. Chat soon.